Okay, it's gonna be very different, but we're gonna just roll with it. Hi guys, it's Sam. Welcome back to Book It. So as you can see, I'm in a very new space. So I actually did just move. I'm currently trying to like still unpack and everything. Like I moved yesterday. So we're very excited to be in this new house. But before I settled in, I wanted to kind of jump on here real quick. So as you see, I have two bookshelves behind me. These are my two babies. This is my to be read shelf and this is my red shelf. As you can see, all these books up here I have read and they've been annotated and everything. I just have to like make a video on them, do a Goodreads. But there are a couple books that I found that I am never going to like do a full video on just because I don't think I need to. And I was like, oh, I'll put them all into one pile and then I'll do a quick little short video with little snippets here and there so I can still put it on my Goodreads, add it to my shelf, and move on. So that way, if you ever are looking at my shelves and you're like, oh, why did you never do that? It's just because it makes sense. Also, I'm gonna grab this one off because, yeah. But yeah, so let's just go through them real quick. It's gonna be super, super fast, super quick. And let's just begin. So the first book I just grabbed from behind, Grimm's Fairy Tales. These are just the original fairy tales, like, I don't know, Brer Rose, which is Sleeping Beauty, Little Red Cap or Little Red Riding Hood, Mouse, the Bird and the Sausage, The Iron Stove, The Hare and the Hedgehog, just all of those original ones. I'm never going to do a video on them because it's just the original fairy tales. I don't think it needs its whole thing. Good book if you like the originals, but yeah. Jurassic Park. So this one actually is annotated. You can't see it, but I annotated in the book from junior year of high school. So I like have these like little notes because we had to annotate our books. So a lot of them don't say a lot. They just like the beginning have like more, and then like the end has like some. But yeah, I'm never going to do a review on this. It's Jurassic Park. There's a whole world built around it. This was really just from high school, but I kept it because it's a book and I don't like throwing books away. But it is a really good book. I'm just never going to do a whole thing on it. So yeah. Moving right along, I have Lion, Witch in the Wardrobe and Prince Caspian. These are both by C.S. Lewis. I read these books a long, long time ago. Obviously, there's movies based on them. They're both really good books. So I really do think these, like, if you're just getting into reading, you know, you want something a little, like, easier to read, a little bit slower, these are perfect books for you. I'm never going to do a video on them just because I don't think it doesn't need to be done. But I do love these books. These are good books. As you can see, they're very old. I think these were my mom's. So, yeah. Going off of that with old books, The Crucible. I'm not gonna do this. It's a play, turned into a book. I'm not going to review this. You know what happens. It was during the Salem witch trials. People suck. Witch hunts, you know, all that fun stuff. I'm not going to do a video on it. This is a lot of schools make you read this book because it's like very like educational and stuff like that. You don't have to read it. I liked it because it really showed like the mob mentality and like people ganging up on each other and like, can't believe that. Yeah, but yeah, Arthur Miller, good author. Sorry, bestie. Also, Night by Elie Wiesel. Elie Wiesel. So this is actually a sad book. This is about the Holocaust, and the man who wrote it was in he was in Auschwitz, and then apologies. But he basically talks about his journey through, because he did survive the Holocaust, and then went on to write, you know, more fiction and nonfiction work, and was awarded a bunch of awards. He was also the winner of the Nobel Peace Prize. This book was really awesome. I read this book in freshman year of high school, and it's very, very sad. I don't really want to do a whole video on the Holocaust because that's like it's a really sad, hard topic to discuss, especially on the internet, and I don't really want to do that. That's not what I'm here for. But no, this book is actually very good. When we went to DC my senior year of high school, we actually met a lady who wrote a book, and she was she survived Auschwitz. She was a wonderful lady. I think she ended up dying a couple years ago. But this book is it's very sad. It's very, I mean, not dark, but it does have very dark themes because it was about such a traumatic point in history. And it was very good. It was a very good read though. But it did make you cry because it talked about like the death of his family and how he had to grow up very fast because of it. Like he didn't get to have his full childhood, which is really sad. But yeah, great book. Gonna stay on my shelf. I'm not going to go through it. I don't think it needs to have like I don't think I need to annotate it at all. I like it how it is. Moving from that is I Hate My Selfie by Shane Dawson. The switch up is real. I'm not going to do this. I'm not. I have the book. I grew up a big Shane Dawson fan. When he was canceled, I tried to, stay by his side, but he's made that very, very hard. I still own, the collaboration with Jeffree Star, like the makeup and stuff like that. If he posts something interesting, I might watch it, but I on all honesty, I don't think that I would. Yeah, this was okay. When it was released, it was, what it was, and it was about him and, all his, first kiss and, how he was on school plays and all that other stuff and how he got famous on the internet. That was great, but, I mean, I just don't think it needs a whole video. Also because of the sketchy cancellations around him, I don't really know if I want to put myself on the side. But I do have it on the bookshelf. It goes. These three I'm going to kind of group together. These are all Hunger Games. So I might bring these back up if I do. I'm going to reread my Hunger Games series and annotate them. But these were books. So I was a huge Hunger Games fan. I'm talking number one fan over here. Also, sorry about the lighting. I just realized the lighting kind of sucks because I haven't had a chance to set up any of my equipment. I just want to hop on real quick. But this was the Hunger Games tribute guide that went through all of the tributes. There is a fun fact. The guy from, I want to say District 3. Yeah, the guy from District 3. Tribute boy. This man's right here. He was in Teen Wolf. Literally, but this just talked about the set and stuff like that, and had all the tributes and everything that the districts were known for. I read this book religiously because I was I need to know everything. So yeah, but there's that one. This one was the World of the Hunger Games. I'm pretty sure this is how they made Suzanne Collins made the movie fit the book. And they talked about the imagery and everything they used, and has a lot of the photos and how they made everything look better and how they made it look like the actual book. I'm not gonna make a video on it. And then this was the Hunger Games companion, and this talked about going into the background of all three books and an analytical breakdown of the three books written by somebody else. It talks about the themes and the features and all that stuff. The analytical side of everything. So these three books definitely did help me understand the series a lot more. I feel like at the time I knew so much about the Hunger Games, it was ridiculous. And I had my Hunger Games phase and everything. Because I literally just kept these on hold. I had my collector's edition and these, and I was ready to fight the world on anything they said. But I will say, I'm not going to do a whole, there's no reason for me to break these down. Now, I might bring them back out when I redo the Hunger Games, just to overall maybe make a point, help with making a point, something like that. You might see them again, but I'm not going to do a video specifically based on that side of the Hunger Games because that's more analytical and that's no fun. I'm also not going to do one on the this one is annotated. This is The Trial of Chicago 7. There's a movie on Netflix now, and it's basically about the 8 prominent anti-Vietnam War protesters. Bobby Seale is the leader of the Black Panthers. He ends up getting a mistrial or something, so he gets tried by himself, and then it becomes just the 7 of the Chicago. And one of the big names are Abby Hoffman and James Rennie, Tom Hayden, Jerry Rubin, and then there's a couple the other ones. But the big ones were Abby Hoffman, Tom Hayden, Jerry Rubin. Those were like the 3 big ones. Abby Hoffman is the most prominent. He, was the leader of like the hippies, and he like was just so anti-war. But I did read this because this trial was the most out of left hand, like this was the most bizarre shit happened. So like in most trials you walk in, you sit down, they talk to you, you talk back, whatever, blah, blah. This one was like weeks long. There was so many people just like they started off by bounding and gagging Bobby Seale. He wasn't even allowed to, like, all the other, like, men were able to come in and sit down on their own accord. No, he was not allowed. Wild, right? And that was, like, okay at the time. And then throughout the entire court, Abby Hoffman and Jerry Rubin, like, here's Abby Hoffman doing a handstand in the middle of the briefing. Here's Abby and Jerry wearing the like judge robes because the judge said they needed to dress more appropriate. Allen Ginsberg recited a poem in his testimony. Like they just did the most out of hand stuff. And the judge was not fair at all. He was not biased. He was very anti all of them. He was like anything that they said he would counteract. He accepted evidence that wasn't. He threw out certain witnesses. Like he literally did bad things and ended up getting like asking to step down. Like they asked him to step down after this. But if you don't want to read the transcript, which I understand a lot of people don't, just watch it on Netflix. That's like not sponsored, but like I loved it to the point where I thought it was so funny because it's just so funny. I don't know. I think it's a court case that I look back on and I'm like, how the hell did they even get away with stuff? Some of the comments that they made to the judge were like so nice. And then this just has all like the transcripts. Like here's one that I marked where they're talking about, Mr. Rubin was like, you're the laughing stock of the world at the judge. Like you're a laughing stock. And he said, every kid in the world hates you, knows what you represent. And the judge marshal was like, be quiet. And he turns and he said, you are synonyms of the name Adolf Hitler. Julius Hoffman equals Adolf Hitler today. And that's when he's like, you can't win your case. Like, you're in contempt of court. And they're like, you call this justice? This isn't justice. Like, he just, all like just terrible. And what's his face wanted them to just be quiet and like listen. Tom Hayden was like, please just sit down and let's just get to the court case. But Abby Hoffman and Jerry Rubin were not taking no for an answer. They were here to argue and fight. They really, I just rambled too long and lost my train of thought. But yeah, okay. Basically, overall, great book. Definitely go check it out on Netflix if you don't want to read it, or read the book. Sticking on theme with Abby Hoffman. This is Abby Hoffman's book. Steal this book. So basically, through the 60s and 70s, before he, did the trial, he was basically going across the country, trying to, spread anti-war propaganda. And he was known for the leader of the Yippies, which is like the youth hippies, basically. And he talks about how like prison is like America is a prison, and you need to break out. And then he was like, I'm going to write a manual. This is a how-to manual on how to get free everything. How to get free transportation, food, housing, medical needs, like everything you could possibly think of. He has, he has different, like, sections that are like talking about, these are how, fight the government and all that stuff. Not exactly what I was thinking for, because I was like, oh, like he is somebody that really focuses a lot on peace and happiness. But no, he says that this book will end free speech, and he says 30 publishers rejected this book, and he has all of them listed here with thumbs down, everyone who rejected this book. What publisher? Go Books? Okay. They ended up picking it up. And then in here he talks about how to communicate for free, places to stay. Some of it is kind of helpful, like, how to, like, find the underground newspapers, how to find people that will, like print certain things, how to find, like, housing for those that need it. Some of them are not, because they're not legal. Basically steal this book. So just steal stuff. And then he also talks, some things are unsafe. Like, he's like, oh, free transportation, just hitchhike. In today's day and age, please don't hitchhike. I feel like it never goes well. After watching, like, all 14 seasons of Criminal Minds, I feel like that's just not the vibe. But he does talk a lot about it. It's not like a real, like, it's not a read where you read through and it's like a story. You read through and it's like, it has basically this, like, boom, boom, boom. These are the free outdoor and indoor pools and how to get there. How to go to free cricket matches, goodness, museums you can go to, music festivals you can listen to, television shows, theaters, movies, information about underground papers, the subway system and how to use it, where to get drugs, how to grow your own drugs, stuff like that. Obviously, a lot of these have changed because this was written in, the 80s? Oh, sorry. I got so nervous. This was written in, I don't know. It says 1971. So the 70s. He also has a bunch of other books that he lists in the front, like Fuck the System, Woodstock Nation, Vote with Jerry Rubin, Steal This Urine Test. Stuff like that. Like, he has these, and, it's actually really, like, it's a good read, but if you are very much like America, you're not gonna like it, so I want to read it. But yeah. And then the last book, sticking kind of on theme, is called Under Our Skin. This is a newer book. I want to say this was written, I looked at it the other day, and I want to say it was written in, like, 2016, if I'm right. I really hope I am. It was written in 2015. Okay. So 2015, this book basically talks about how our country is divided with so many racial, things. And it's always an argument or a political position or something on TV where that's all you see. And this talks about the negatives of the world and how we all, like, if we could stop for 1 minute and just think about somebody else other than ourselves and take in everything else, we could all be, like, neighbors and, like, happy and live in a more peaceful community. And this is really a good book about getting, like, really real about, like, race and stuff like that. So I'm trying to think. This was written by Benjamin Williams. He was a tight end for the New Orleans Saints. Social media commentary. He speaks on ways, it's a part memoir, part social commentary. And it looks at both sides of the race debate and how, like, power falls into it and stuff like that. And then it talks about the fears and, how people feel about it. Like, people are frustrated, people are upset, they're confused, they're fear, like, stuff. So, like, it's just a very good book because it goes more into, like, he talks about his life, but he also talks about how it was hard for him. And then he also talks about how other people feel about it and that he did have some sort of, like, higher standards because he was a professional football player, but, like, not everybody has those luxuries and stuff like that. This book was super important, and I ended up reading it in, like, 2020. I read it, and I thought it was amazing and great. I'm not going to do an entire video on it just because I love the message, but I don't think I feel like everyone should just read the book. I don't think that I need to be the one standing on a pedestal telling you what you should think or how other people should feel and stuff like that. We obviously should take that into account for everybody, but I think that it's more important for everyone just to read the book. So just read this book, and it's really good, and I like it a lot. And, you know, social change, I'm here for it. But yeah, those are the books that I will not be ever doing a full video on. You know, they're great, but I'm literally just going to go leave them stars on Goodreads and call it a day, because I don't think I need to go on about it. Like, I don't need to annotate them. I don't need to do anything like that. But yeah, they're about to go on this shelf. And then as you can see, all those books up there are the books that are coming. So you could get a little sneak peek of what I've been reading. I've been flying through reading. I've read like 8 books in the last like week and a half. So I obviously have a lot to do, and I still have a lot more books to read. As you can see, I have a couple books on here that I've already started, and I've put them back on the shelf just because I've been moving. I have a book sitting right here that I need to put back on the shelf, Song of Achilles. I actually haven't started it yet. I made a little thing, and then I got sidetracked with something else, so I haven't started it. But thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe down below. It means a lot to me. You can always do it, you can always undo it at any other time. And that's it for now. I'm going to go finish unpacking, and then I'm going to edit the video, upload this, and then by the time that this is uploaded, I will probably be asleep and passed out because I'm so exhausted. Also, it was my birthday yesterday. I turned 23, so I'm officially old, and it was great. I had all my friends over, and it was a lot of fun. Because I moved 2 days ago, not yesterday. It's Monday. It's been a journey. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye!